Okay, this is how used cartoony bounce. And it looks like it's got some issues. It doesn't look very bouncy. I think the first issue is around the Y translate curve. Let's take a look at that in Maya. There we go. Okay, yeah, and I can see right from the start that it doesn't have that, has this kind of like slow in, slow out shape to it. So let's fix that first. Um, oops. Maybe you want to, that is flat already, okay. Maybe you want to have weighted tangents and free the tangent length so you can stretch that out a bit. And so I'm just rounding out the shape of these a little bit. That's a bit long. This one's, that's much too big there. Okay. Alright, so those look to be a little bit better. Oops. Like that. Let's take a look if that helps. I think already that helps. Let's just take a look at the forward momentum, the X translate. Yeah, it's okay. I guess that's not so bad. You can leave that alone. Hide the curves. Not much of a squash here, but it's almost yeah, I might take out this. I might squash a little bit more, and this I would take out and maybe wait another frame and, you know, stretch it, but not too much. Yeah, and then this last one is a bit abrupt, the change here. The other thing is, it looks like you have the extra contact frame on the Y translate, but you didn't do it on the X. And so on each of those landings, see it's scooching forward a little bit on the X. So I think what you want to do is middle mouse click here, key selected, and then, oops, I think I did it on the wrong frame. So it's click here, middle mouse click here, key selected. Middle mouse click, key select. Now it worked. Okay, I don't know what I did wrong. Huh? Still moving a little bit. That's interesting because it actually says it's, or maybe that's just an illusion because of the controllers. Oh yeah, that's staying still. Okay, and then here, and then again to prevent that little bit of slide there. Oh, this is, that's interesting. You have, your frames are on, not exactly on the whole number of frames. Let's snap those, okay. So click here, middle mouse click there, key selected, and then, oh, I did it on the wrong frame again. So yeah, here, and then middle mouse click there, and then key that. Okay, there we go. Oh, this should be squashing earlier, but let's fix that. So here, middle mouse click here, key selected, and then that's kind of weird. I would key that here, and then squash that here, and then maybe take that one out, and then yeah, have a little stretch there. And now I have to fix that X translate curve from, because I've added those keyframes, it sort of screws up the curve, as you can see. But if we just make that linear, that should mostly fix that. Okay, that's looking better. Let's take a look at your realistic bounce. It always, it helps to put in your reference, but I don't. This one again, I don't see that as very realistic right now. The timing of it looks, well, just sort of slow and not like a realistic ball. We can take a look at Maya. Yeah, and again, I think there's a issue with the Y curve. Let's see. Yeah, I can tell right away that's not, gonna look good. So we need to break the tangents. Take these. Move those up. Take these. Whoop. Move those up. Alright, something more like that should help. And it sort of seems to slow down at the end there. Yeah, there's this tiny little jump here, but let's see this curve. Yeah, it really slows down there, which I guess is okay, but I think it's just that that last jump is kind of, that seems really long. I think it's this one. Maybe we can make it a bit smaller and a bit shorter in time. I think that's better, yeah. And then it's kind of a question of sort of studying the reference and making it look more similar. Next up is Hayden. Let me just check the stream is still working. It is. Okay. Cartoony bounce first. There's something kind of overly snappy looking about the squash and stretch. Let's take a look at what's going on with that. Um, Also, it does seem to be sliding between these two frames. Um, I think maybe just a bit too much movement on that guy. Maybe just toning that down a little bit. I've got my auto keyframe on. And also we don't want that to slide forward on those. So that's where it should be in the same position here and here in the X. So I click here, middle mouse click there, key the X, and then repeat that here, middle mouse click there, key the X, click here, middle mouse click here, key the X, but then that messes up my X translate curve, so I'll just make that linear. And now, yeah, there's still something. Maybe let's check that Y curve as well. Oh yeah, look, there is a bit of an issue with that. I think it's the combination of the somewhat extreme squash and stretch, but that has that slow out at the end of each of these Y curves, so this needs to be pulled up on each of these. I think that's better, yeah. Maybe that second bounce could be a little shorter. And then maybe this, then again shorter. Whoops. Maybe move that down a bit, move that down a bit, scale that down. Let's try that. Something's still funny. Oh, it's sliding forward still. Oh, maybe because I just screwed up the timing of it. Yeah, not so smart. Okay. Oh wow, yeah, that really messed all that up. Probably shouldn't have changed the timing of those Y translate curves without moving everything else with it. Maybe let's undo back. I think if we're going to do that, we should make sure we've got all that selected. So let's say we want to remove a little bit from this. We'll just do keys, remove in between, and then I can repeat that by going here and click G. No? And then remove one here. That's better. Maybe lose one on this last one too. And so with everything selected, it'll remove that from all of the animated curves. Then maybe I can just this down a little bit. This one still seems, I'm just shift selecting. Whoops. So we get all of that. I think this one still looks like it can lose a in between in there. Maybe one more. I don't know if it doesn't look like it's getting much better. I don't know why that still feels long to me. Maybe it's the shape of the curve. Yeah, maybe this one needs to be shorter again. I don't know. Anyways, you can play with it some more. Yeah, it looks like that one now needs to be shorter. I think a little better. Obviously, you'd want to end it earlier, like here. I think that's a little better. Okay. And then let's take a look at the realistic. The bounces look a little soft to me. Let's take a look in Maya. Just make sure my stream still seems to be working. Yep. Yeah, I can just tell the shape of the Y curve isn't so great. All of these need to be fixed here. And I think right away that'll look a little bit better, a little more bouncy. I think the timing of that second bounce is a little slow. Yeah, I mean, I think that this, if I'm not mistaken, 1, 2, 3, 4, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, this should be certainly shorter, but certainly not longer than the previous one. So, you know, same thing, go ahead and remove in betweens and make each bounce a little shorter than the one prior to it, and that could be a little bit better. Next up is Chen Yu. Something a little crazy happening with the squash and stretch on this one. Let's take a look at Maya. Oh, yeah, I mean you've made it pretty hard on yourself because you've used the ball. You've put the rotate on the ball move control. So I'm gonna get rid of any rotation off of that. And already we're looking better. And then if you want to put rotation on, you can put it on this one, and which one is it? Z. Key that, and maybe it rotates around one time, minus 360. And let's just make that, should be mostly linear. Could maybe slow down a little bit at the end there. Okay, let's watch it now. Okay, already that's much better. So I think that was your main problem, just not using the right control to do your rotate. And then realistic. A bowling ball. Okay, yeah. I think it's alright. I mean, I'd be interested in seeing your reference, but I like how, that second bounce ends really flat and the roll at the end looks pretty realistic. I think maybe just the first bounce is a bit slow. So take a look at Maya. Yeah, again, you're using the wrong control for the rotate. It doesn't really matter so much on this one because there's not really any squash and stretch. So I think I might not bounce as high, but that's not really the point. The point is I think we need to make it a little quicker. So let's make sure all the controls are selected. And remove a couple in betweens here. Remove in between. I can hit G to repeat that. And remove in between and G to repeat that. Okay, let's see. So I think maybe this first half of this one. Maybe remove a couple off of here. Another one here. It's kind of sliding at the end. I don't know, I might have done that. I'm not sure. That looks a little more believable to me. It's hard to tell. Without looking at the reference video. But yeah, it's good to make sure you're observing reference video for these. And then the next one is Hend. cartoony bounce first. Yeah, it's just better to hide the curves. They're a little distracting. Let's take a look at Maya. Good. I think maybe those last bounces look a little floaty. Maybe we could speed those up a bit. Wait, I have everything selected? Why am I not seeing all the curves? Oh, just because I have. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so I just think maybe take out maybe one here, maybe a couple here, maybe a couple here, and maybe oh, did I miss selecting this? Oh, jeez. Should I get that? This, 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 and that. Alright. And I was let's try that again. Is this working now? Yeah, let's just maybe remove one here. Here. Move a couple here. Couple here. See how I like that? I think that's a little better. Yeah, I think I like that a little better. Not too big of a deal. Let's take a look at the realistic one. I want to check those the Y curves on this because the bounces, at least those first couple bounces, look kind of soft to me. Yeah, these don't look so. The shape of these look like they could be a lot rounder. So let's get the top of these to all be flat, and let's just adjust. Um, and just kind of round these out a bit. And so, and then I think that's gonna work a little better. Um, okay. And I would, take another look at reference because you probably want at least a little bit of rotate on that, depending what kind of ball it is, just to make it look a little bit more realistic. So, all right, but yeah, good work on that. Just gonna make sure the stream is still going and that finishes first.